how to go about discerning our natural, thriving species diet. With so much conflicting, twisted, and manipulated information and knowledge being spread throughout the human world, with such a bias and agenda in place, it seems, from every cultural source, it can often be frustrating and very difficult to know which information to trust and integrate, which thread to pull on and allow to guide us. And so I believe the greatest source of knowledge, information, and wisdom is the original source of knowledge, information, and wisdom, being Mother Nature. The natural world is one that, when sat down and observed, the patterns of Mother Nature give us a multi-layered dimension of information and wisdom to be extracted, understood, integrated, and then implemented to reach a required objective. But it is unbiased, it is unmanipulated, it is information that is hitting us in its purest form. And when we sit back and observe the natural world to decipher what our true species thriving diet should be, then let's observe how animals feed in nature. Now, over 20 million animal species living on this planet, they say. And when we sit back and observe them, they all have a species thriving diet. And when they are consuming and extracting energy from this planet, they all seem to feed with three basic principles correlating between all of them. Number one, they eat food in its raw and natural state. Number two, they eat one thing at a time. And number three, they have a direct interactive relationship with their food, which they passionately enjoy. Now, eating food in its raw and natural state. Every animal has a diet that has been perfectly structured and delivered by Mother Nature, and they thrive on it. Now, fire is a technology. Processing food is a technological process. Eating food in its raw and natural state is the most natural way to go about eating food. Anything else is disconnecting us from Mother Nature. And if anything, it is a slap in the face to Mother Nature to think that she has not provided a perfectly structured food source for us to thrive on, and that we need to blast this food source with an aggressive chemical reaction known as fire just to prepare it and now consume it. As if it's not blasting away the sacred geometric design, it's not mutating and destroying the enzyme structure, it is not creating a waste product every time we create a chemical reaction of adding fire to any biological tissue. There is a waste product, there is smoke, ash, acid, waste that is produced. So to be blasting our food with fire every day and bringing it into the human body can only be seen as unnatural and barbaric in terms of the way that we are extracting and implementing nutrition into our bodies. 20 million animal species are feeding and thriving from Mother Nature, and it is in a raw and natural state. Now, fire does make food taste delicious. There is something about it, I believe there is no coincidence that the devil, as a symbological archetype, and fire go hand in hand. Anytime we add fire to biological matter and then we bring it into the body, there seems to be an addictive tendency that tends to follow. If I was to eat a banana, my body recognizes that this banana is delicious, it is natural, and it holds a great deal of electrical nutrition for me. If I take that banana and now I grill it, bake it, or fry it, and now I eat it, if you could do an MRI on my brain while I'm eating a fire-treated banana, it is a fireworks show. It is the most delicious banana I have ever tasted. I have blasted. It's amazing how it works. I'm a being with a purpose of high vibrational alignment and health and prosperity. I've eaten a raw natural banana, ripe. It's delicious. It gives me what I need. I then eat a fried, baked, or grilled banana behind that. I have mutated the sacred geometric structure. It's now a toxic, inflammatory food source that's going to damage me on some level when I eat it. Yet it is so delicious. The sugars have been caramelized in such a way that it is all I can think about for the short-term future. And if you was to give me another raw banana right after having eaten a baked or grilled banana, I don't think it would be enough. I don't think I'd be able to enjoy it. I would say, give me that fire-treated banana. That was absolutely delicious. If we add it to leaves, like tobacco, cannabis, I'm breathing air, beautiful electrical pranic air that gives my system all the oxygen and nutrients it needs to thrive. You blast a leaf and then breathe in that dense, toxic smog of smoke, which is damaging, inflammatory, blasting my cells as it comes down, and yet it is addictive, and yet it is something that I want to continue doing. We see this all around us, how people get hooked, and normal low density air will no longer do. I treat something with fire, I bring it into the human body. It is damaging, it is toxic, and yet it is also tempting and seductive. Fire and the devil archetype. And we came to this world to taste, to explore, to try new and different sensations. So it's okay to perform fire rituals and bring them into the body. But to be performing a fire ritual 3 times a day, every day, since the moment we had teeth to chew, can be nothing less than heavily excessive in the eyes of any sane person observing from the natural kingdom. So coming back to simplicity, there should be a food source out there that we can enjoy eating in its raw and natural state. The second principle of how animals eat, they are eating one thing at a time. Why would this make sense? Particularly coming from a human culture which programs us to believe that getting the most macronutrients in any one dish at any one time is the most intelligent way to go about it, as we are getting the widest range of nutritional requirements and needs into the body. Now, as the ancients and many a wise source of knowledge tells us, simplicity is key. Complexity creates burden. And so when we go about taking a step back, thinking, what is this right here? Well, this is the most advanced, intelligent biolaboratory in the known world. When I take a mango and I bite into that mango, I chew that mango and I swallow that mango, my body says, aha, a mango. I am now going to create the optimal environment to digest, absorb, and utilize this mango. It regulates a pH, releases enzymes, starts an entirely magical process of breaking down, digesting, absorbing, and utilizing that mango. If I bring in a banana, my body does the same. It creates a completely unique and optimal environment to break down, digest, absorb, and utilize that banana. So if I eat a banana and a mango at the same time, my body cannot create two optimal environments at the same time. Each one requires a completely unique chemistry set to break down. And fruits are very similar in nature, in structure. And so eating a few fruits at the same time would be pretty simple for our digestive tract. And yet we apply this now to the average dish in the modern world of bringing meats, grains, vegetables, fruits, seasonings, oils, spices, and putting this all together. That can be nothing less than an atom bomb of barbaric proportions into the human body and creating an immense burden for our digestive system to break down. Simplicity is key. One thing at a time is optimal. 20 million animal species arrive at their food source and they eat it one thing at a time. They don't have opposable thumbs, plates, knives and forks to chuck things on. They come and they directly interact. And that makes sense when observing this biolaboratory as a process that thrives on simplicity and being able to create an optimal environment to break down, digest, absorb, utilize, and then eliminate each unique food source. Simplicity is key, one thing at a time. And that would lead us to saying, well, what food can I eat one thing at a time that I enjoy, is delicious, and I can thrive upon? Number 3, each animal has a direct relationship, interaction with its food, and it enjoys, it is impassioned by going about that interactive process. Meaning, when a cow runs into the field and sees grass, it is mouth-watering. This grass is delicious. This grass has everything that this cow needs. All nutritional needs are met by eating grass, but it is delicious. It comes, it runs, it dances. The look, the taste, the smell. It starts feasting on that grass in the field. A squirrel with its nuts. It comes, it sees the nuts. Oh, delicious. A carnivorous predator, a lion, a tiger, sees a gazelle running through the field, running through the jungle, and it is impassioned by running, chasing, hunting, devouring this animal. It enjoys the process of ripping it up, getting to those vital organs, and feasting on this corpse. When looking at a human being and the foods in nature that we are naturally, impassionately drawn to, as we go through each food source, if we were meant to be eating meat and animals, this means that if you saw a wounded or hurt animal, or recently deceased corpse of an animal lying there, you would be attracted to running, jumping, and feasting right then and there. You would want to start extracting, biting on its neck, sucking out blood, feasting on those inner vital organs. It would be an enjoyable, enthralling process. There is no human being that I know, no natural child devoid of cultural influence, who sees an animal in its raw and natural state and gets a deep intrinsic feeling to run, jump, and start feasting on that animal. One thing is cultural experience and conditioning. So one thing is seeing a rabbit or a deer run past and thinking, oh, that rabbit in a stew with some potatoes and some garlic and some seasoning. That's cultural memory and conditioning. Seeing a rabbit in its raw and natural state running past you and getting the feeling of running, jumping, sticking my teeth into its neck and sucking out blood, a completely different process. And there is nobody I know who would enjoy that process. If we were meant to be eating grains, rice, wheat, barley from the field, that means that we would be walking through the fields, see the grass stem sticking out, and want to start eating that grass. I do not feel attracted to grass in the field. Most vegetables, seeing potatoes, a broccoli head sticking out of the ground, a lettuce head, I mean, it's edible, but in terms of enjoyable, impassions me to want to consume it, not really. And yet, when I walk past a mango tree or a blueberry raspberry bush, every biological indicator in my body is tingling and telling me to engage with this food source. It smells delicious. It looks delicious. It tastes sweet and scrumptious. It embodies all of the words and descriptive attributes that I would describe about a place, a person that I enjoy being around. Sweet, tasty, ripe, colourful, full of form, structure and shape. You don't say that person was dry, salty, tough, bland. These are not the words we use. We look at the culture of today, and the system, it seems, has created many a candy and sweet product for children particularly to eat. Children would be attracted to their natural species diet the most in its natural state. And so I believe it is no coincidence that all these candy and sugar companies have created products making their produce taste like strawberry sweets, cherry fizz, orange tango, and all these fruits, but in a now processed, artificial, toxic and inflammatory form, so that our children are taught as they grow up that the food that we are naturally attracted to is bad for us, and that somehow if we want to be healthy and prosperous, we have to eat foods that we're not naturally attracted to, bland, boring foods. You know, eat your brown rice, your oatmeal, your cabbage and your broccolis, of which we have to season, dress, combine, add salts and spices to, as if the grand intelligent design of this universe has made it so that the food that we're naturally enjoyably attracted to, the sweet, delicious, dripping, juicy fruits, are bad for us, and that we have to show discipline and caution and go about eating food that we're not naturally attracted to in its raw and natural state, and we have to season and dress up and combine to be able to enjoyably consume. Every other animal is impassioned and enthralled about interacting and consuming its species thriving diet, and the path back to simplicity, optimal digestion, absorption, utilization and health, it seems, can be a beautiful, sweet, delicious, enjoyable one, as the high growing, shining fruits are the only food source that embody all of these qualities to the human sensorial system. A fruit is defined by a plant or a tree that grows above the ground, offering up an edible flesh encapsulating a seed. It grows above the ground. It is metaphorically showing us, literally and metaphorically, that it is the most enlightened of the vegetation kingdom, growing the closest and the highest to the sun and the heavens. It is the most high vibrating, electromagnetically active food source. It is sacredly geometric structured. You cut open a kiwi, an apple, an orange, it has sacred geometry structured within. It appeals to us on every level. So this is all on a biological, body sensorial level of attracting me to this food source. It ticks every marker. And then I look from a purely rational, high conceptualizing form of perception, and I say, I want to be responsible for the domino effect of interaction that I have with this world. I'm a being following a path of empathy and union and sacred interaction with the world around me. I'm aware of the laws of karma in terms of cause and effect. Now, I do not want to create suffering to another living being. Any other food source, any other way that I go about extracting energy from the world, if I'm hunting an animal, direct suffering, violating natural law. If I am extracting grains and vegetables from the land, I am still disrupting a system. I am pulling out of the soil. I am likely going to kill, disturb a worm, an insect, a bug. I'm going to break apart a mycelium connection, a root connecting system in the soil. The only karmically positive, all parties win process of me extracting energy from Mother Nature is eating from a fruit. A fruit is a plant or a tree that when ripe, I approach, flick it, the food drops for me, I eat the delicious food, and all that this food source asks of me is that I take that seed and I plant it somewhere for it to propagate and its genetic lineage to continue. It is the only all parties win process of interaction of extracting energy from the world. Every other process of energy extraction requires a loser. I win, I eat, but there is a loser. An animal, a vegetable, a grain requires a loser within the soil and the natural kingdom. Fruit is the only all parties win from process of interaction. It's miraculous, it's marvelous, and it appeals on every level. The glorious, high vibrational, sweet, juicy, electrical fruits of our world